Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 27th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Becky McClure.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present. Okay, we have the minutes will come at our next meeting, so we'll just go straight to department head reports. First up will be Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 573 calls for service. A total of 19 people were arrested for the following crimes. 6 for operating while intoxicated, 5 were wanted on a warrant, 2 for domestic battery, 2 for unauthorized entry of a vehicle, 1 for possession of a alleged drug, 1 for possession of alcohol by a minor, 1 for driving while never receiving a license, 1 for driving while suspended. In that same time frame, LPD took 28 crash reports and 5 handgun permits were sent off to the state for final approval. From 6/20 to 6/24, basically last week, officers Tim Edmonds, Trey Kamaj, and Jamie Newland completed the basic SWAT school. This was in Muncie, Indiana. It was a 5-day course, taught the fundamentals of special response team tactics. 6/25 to 6/26, last weekend, LPD hosted Gabe White's Pistol Shooting Solutions class. This is a more advanced class that focuses on speed, efficiency, and accuracy. Officers Michael Custis and Jason Morgan were able to take this class for free since we hosted it. Officer Jason Morgan received a turbo pin from the class. I didn't know what this was until he filled me in at length. Basically what it is he is one of 30 people in all the classes that have ever been put on that shot fast enough and accurate enough to get this pin. Out of all the hundreds and thousands of people who have went through this class, he's one of 30. So he's
So
very
you never
proud.
live it down, essentially?
Yeah, he bragged a lot. So, and then today, Lieutenant Tommy Nash and Anya, our K-9, they, along with all the other K-9s in the county, they did a scenario-based training. It's something that all the department heads and K-9 officers are trying to get everybody to train together and be on the same page. We used to do it, and then we kind of got away from it, so we're trying to get back to that. Then I wanted to update you guys on our hiring process. So we started out with 18 applicants, and after the physical agility, written test, background investigations, and interviews, we are down to 5. The next step is the interview with you guys, with the board and the mayor. So we were looking at the 7th or 8th, and I've talked to some of you already, and I'll talk to the mayor after the meeting and see if we can't set a date, time.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Morgan from the board?
How many openings do you have?
Well, we still have to replace Assistant Chief Bells, and then I have 2 officers who are leaving in July, moving on to other departments. So I'm hoping that out of the 5, we can get 3 to replace.
Okay.
Any additional questions? Any questions for the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 142 emergency calls of service, logged 223 training hours, completed 22 commercial inspections, and hosted 4 CPR classes. The week of June 13th, all LFD firefighters completed in their annual physical and psychological evaluations. This is a service that Lebanon Fire offers to its department members, ranging from cardiovascular treadmill testing, cancer screening, vision and hearing tests, and just an all-around physical. All of our firefighters participate in this. This is done through Public Safety Medical. We've done this for several years, and it's very well received on the department. June 13th through the 17th, LFD and the Boone County Sheriff's Office hosted the Teen Academy. This was after a 2-year hiatus due to the pandemic, and it was very well received from the public. We were maxed out on attendance from the cadets. Of course, the heat was almost unbearable that week, but the counselors did a great job of getting the cadets in and out of the heat, and they learned a wide variety of things: defensive tactics, firearm safety, how we search a building in zero visibility. They got to experience some live fire with propane props, and it just was a great experience. We were glad to have this back, and then we'll be offering it once again next year. On June 24th, LFD hosted training at Reynolds Farm Equipment. The training focused on farm implement entrapment and extrication. Reynolds set up several scenarios with our training dummies to where firefighters had to use extrication techniques with a bush hog, with a combine, with a field cultivator, just things that we might run into in the farming community. It was great. Reynolds Farm Equipment, can't say enough about them for allowing us to train on their property. And we also invited Center Township Fire to participate, and they did. And it was just a great experience had by all. So just for a moment, I'd like to discuss I-65 southbound from State Road 47 into our city. We're experiencing a lot of traffic issues with the southbound lane. They have now used Jersey barriers to separate that into two 15-foot lanes running, we call it the eastbound southbound lane and the westbound southbound lane. And for the last week and a half, we've been working with NDOT and all local public safety agencies to put together an incident action plan. And that is the safest way, or developing the safest way to manage incidents within that corridor. It's just a very dangerous stretch of 65, the way they have it engineered temporarily. So we're meeting with these agencies and developing how can we handle this, how can we land a helicopter, how can we do extrication with all of this traffic congestion through there. And we feel like we have a great plan developed. In fact, Chief Wiley just finished up with a meeting with NDOT about half an hour ago, and we finalized our incident action plan, and we're going to have it totally completed tomorrow and get it out to all public safety agencies on how we're going to handle this situation. My advice to everyone listening is just avoid that area, and I'm being completely honest. It's very dangerous, it's very tight, there's very little room for error, especially with the merger on from 52 going to 65 south. So just drive with care and avoid the area if possible, but know that we do have an incident action plan in place to handle all emergencies in that corridor. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Parks and Recreation. John Messenger.
Good evening. Our lighting project is now complete. It's pretty quick. That started back in June. Really happy with the product that we have. I think got quite a few compliments. With the help of the Utilities Electric Department, we'll be removing the old existing light structures in the next few weeks, probably a couple weeks. But I had Dustin Shirley out there today, and I sure do appreciate their knowledge, and we're going to try and save the old structures and repurpose those, possibly the Conservation Club or something like that. They're still in good shape, but yeah, they didn't fit our process there, but they will work good. I'm still communicating with the contractors for our playground. Spoke with Little Tykes this morning. They're the ones who we purchased the playground equipment from. Still, the parts that are missing are being manufactured this week, about 4 weeks longer than what I anticipated. Anyway, they will let me know when they are on the truck, so I know that they're coming in and get the contractors already lined up to go. There's several contractors to talk to. Prepared for the week-long celebration that we have coming up, the 4th of July. Anyone needing information on dinners or entertainment can go to the Boone County 4th of July Facebook page. We have replaced 4 flats of flowers downtown. Kind of a sad note. Keep an eye out for anybody and just be respectful. They've been plucking them. I think we've replaced 4 to 5 flats of flowers. Don't understand it, but if you could just watch your children or whoever's doing it, and if you see them, report them. It's frustrating, and I'm done replacing flowers down there. It's kind of past time. Also, I ask that anyone attending the parade, please be respectful to our beautiful grounds that we have at the park, at Memorial Park. Please wait until 4 p.m. the day before, which would be Sunday the 3rd. Make sure your spots are rope or string. I really don't want any tarps out there. It tends to brown out the grass, and we really take pride in our parents out there. We'll have tables behind your little events along Euland Drive, and we'll have trash cans set up, so just be courteous and pick up after yourselves, and just enjoy the 4th of July and celebrate our freedom. Our programs update, Serving Up Sparks Pickleball Tournament was a big hit this past Friday. I think we finished up around 10:30, 10:45. Hosted 14 teams between 2 divisions. Congratulations to the winners, Lucky Dinkers and Half Pint PB. We look forward to our fall league. Tickets are still on sale for our first mother-son pool party set for Saturday, July 30th. This will be from 6:30 to 9 p.m. at Seashore Water Park. Come enjoy the dinner, games, contests, and lots of fun. There's been quite a few people that have been signing up for that, so please enjoy that. Our June swim lessons will wrap up tomorrow. We've seen over 60 kids, and our lifeguards have done just a fantastic job with the little kiddos. Our July lessons will begin July 11th. The Boone County Cancer Society hosted a car show in Memorial Park on Saturday, June 18th. They had a great turnout and saw around 100 cars and raised quite a bit of money for our Cancer Society. Kind of a last-minute thing, and I think they did a wonderful job. It went over very well. There again, 4th of July schedule, big one, and I think Becky will tell you, Tri-Kappa will be hosting their ice cream social in Memorial Park at the Memorial Shelter on June 28th, and that's there again. Go to our Facebook page, or the Boone County Facebook page, 4th of July. I did a sad note, Cole Henry has resigned as far as that. He gave us notice, 2 weeks notice last week. Cole's been with me for 10 years. He started out as a lifeguard. He moved himself up to aquatics director. Just a team player, dedicated, caring throughout his career. Wish him the best of luck. It was very sad. He was really troubled to tell us that he was going. He really loves the city and very dedicated employee. However, we do have an opening now, and we'll be taking applications. So anybody interested in working at the parks, being on a great team, please come and apply at the park office.
Thank you, John.
That's all I had.
Any questions for John from the board? Nope. Any questions for the public? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Engineering Department, Kevin Krulik.
Thank you, good evening. Oh, well, Mike's a little better tonight. Engineering report for us tonight, wrapping up a lot of our paving work. Right now, really all the paving and striping work is complete. Working with Dave Newell and his crew and the subs that are under contract for block patching to refine our final block patching list. Probably see some additional block patching work actually start in the next couple of days, but just trying to make that money stretch as far as we can. Looking at some rough areas on Grant Street, doing some patching there, 100 South and 400 East, really on the 400 East Road, fixing some potholes there and some rutting that we've seen near that intersection. Also a little bit of work on the east end of Tiger Way, just west of Grant. So working through all those details, don't know exactly what the plan will be. We're just trying to stretch our money as far as we can. So look for those notices through our social media accounts as we begin to refine those schedules. We'll try to give everyone as much notice as possible as we work with our contractors and get our block patching wrapped up for the year. There'll be a couple of change orders later tonight on the overall large resurfacing program. Change order 4 is various projects for some striping overruns, so some additional striping footages we had to add. Also on Project 10, which was Indianapolis Road, we had about 722 additional tons of asphalt to place there. You total that all together, it's a change order of about $52,000. But we have one more change order though, which is a negative change order, zeroing out the quantity, the material underrun quantities from the contract, which totals a negative change order about $74,000. So if you're doing the math in your head, that's a negative, an overall net negative to the contract of about $22,000. But again, all projects are complete. We actually have these change orders and all the final billing has been received. Pending approval of change orders, we'll get those billings wrapped up and get our community crossing grants closed out here in the next couple of weeks. And moving on to the next program. Whit Road. Happy to report that the bridge on Whit Road, that project started on the 20th, so a week ago today, and that is scheduled to be completed and opened on August 1st, which coincidentally is the first day of school. Right now, what we basically completed is the demolition of the old bridge. We've installed the pump around of the creek, and we'll be working on storm sewer and some of the other utility work as the week goes on. The road project, Whit Road from Lafayette Avenue to about 150 feet north of Austin Drive. Our engineering RFP will be posted by NDOT on Wednesday, and then we'll be seeing those letters of interest in 30 days, so around the end of July, we'll be seeing those letters of interest come in to choose our engineering firm that we'll be working with on that project. The Elmwood Bridge, we did receive, as you know, 3 letters of interest on an RFP for inspection there. Those have all been received, reviewed, and voted on by myself and the mayor and Scott Calvert. We'll be making an award announcement later in the meeting. Jumping over to Grant Street. So the NDOT revised schedule on letting really put a little bit of a wrinkle into our phasing plan for that project. So we've had to really work over the last couple of weeks with our contractors and NDOT to develop a new phasing plan. I'm happy to report, I think we've come up with a phasing plan that meets the goals that we originally set. We had originally hoped to be doing the work on Williams Street this summer while school was out, but it's just not practical given the way the NDOT contracts are structured and the availability and procurement times needed for the contractor. So we're going to pull Phase 1 east of Ann Street. We're going to make sure that we keep that intersection of Ann and Williams open as school begins to start so that parents can be detoured onto, up to Fordyce, onto Ann Street, and then that will be the normal delivery route, drop-off route, for children going to Central. We've already been working with the Transportation Department at the school. They will be entering the bus traffic from the south off of Richardson, coming up the east side of the school, and then exiting onto Williams. So I think this is the best we can come up with at this point. We'd hoped to have Williams completely open before school started, but that's just not going to be feasible. So we're pulling that Phase 1 phasing limit just east of Ann Street. We're also, the contractor will be working on sanitary sewer and force main work that's primarily along the creek in that general area, so that's not as visible, but that will be happening as part of Phase 1. And then the contractor is actually looking to do some water main installation with Phase 1. That is really not supposed to be done in Phase 2 or 3, but they'd like to go ahead and get the water mains along Grant Street in this year. And happy to report that they're looking at boring a lot of that in, so the impacts to residents through that area would be minimal. Again, not finalized, but that was what came of our initial coordination meetings with the contractor, that they would like to bore that water main in along the west side of Grant Street. Phases 2 and 3 are really the mainline work on Grant Street, and basically we're going to do one side at a time, keeping one-way traffic to the north open at all times. You'll be detoured as you're coming south, but north traffic will be maintained at all times. It will just be shifted back and forth as the phasing allows. We're also extending those phases so that they go down and include all of Washington Street. Originally, Washington Street, the intersection of Washington north to the bridge, was going to be its own separate phase. We're adding that into Phases 2 and 3 to eliminate a couple of more phasing shifts and detour shifts. So we think that is actually a good win for the project. And then for Phase 3, Phase 4, we will drop back next summer while school is out and do that intersection of Ann and Williams. So the project runs out like this. So Phase 1 would be that first section east of Ann on Williams over to Grant Street. Also be the sanitary and possibly the water main work. All that work would have to be substantially complete by October 31st of this year. And that will be complete, landscapes, sidewalks in, pavement in, and basically a complete project, at least as that phasing goes. And then next year, we will be doing the bulk of the Grant Street Mainline reconstruction, and that work will be substantially complete by October of 2023. There is a final completion date, which is all project closeout documentation. There's a lot of documentation involved with an NDOT federal aid job. That won't be till 2024, but the construction will be finished in 2023, with maybe the possible exception of landscaping. Just depends on plant material availability, particularly trees. I think that covers everything I have on all the updates for Grant Street. I know that was a lot. We are also going to host a public open house for the residents in or around that area, or just anyone that may be concerned. We've tentatively set that for Thursday, July 22nd, which would be just about 2 weeks before construction is scheduled to start. Contractor would be here to answer questions, and we'll walk everyone through that phasing in a lot more detail. And hopefully we'll have those detailed revised phasing maps from the contractor by then. Grant Street Phase 2, right-of-way buying RFP is also being released by NDOT this week on Wednesday, and we'll have a right-of-way buying consultant in place hopefully around the end of July and move that forward. Remind everyone that that is a July 2025 letting for Phase 2 of that. So in between Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Grant Street, we're going to try to get Fordyce Road done. Right-of-way acquisition is progressing. We're tentatively looking at 24-25 for the construction of that road, and that is to align with the opening of the new Central Elementary on East Fordyce Road. They are scheduled to have that school under construction here shortly and be open for students in the fall of 2025. So that's going to be our goal for the road project as well. Probably doing the bulk of the construction work in 24 and then wrapping up things in 25 and having everything cleaned up and fully complete before school opens fall of 25. Big Four Trail, again, I'm going to get into the weeds here, I apologize, but we've got a lot of things shifting around this week as we move phases on Southeast Street. So we are going to be, actually today, we closed the east side of the intersection of Green and East Street. So just east of East Street on Green Street, we've closed that to prep for the intersection improvements where the trail intersects Green Street. We are going to be working tomorrow, closing down and removing material on the alley entrances, Green Street and the Walnut Street intersections, getting ready to place pavement. We will then place pavement in all areas on Wednesday. So we'll go into those alleys, we'll go into Green Street and Walnut Street and repave those intersections of the trail. Then we will quickly shift the detour route, open up Green Street, and focus on Noble Street and getting that material removed and the Noble Street intersection paved. So we're hoping, with good weather and a little bit of luck and a lot of things falling into place, that by the end of the day, Wednesday, and that may be a long day, but we'll have all of those intersections open and then really be turning our efforts and focusing on the areas north of Green Street. We have put that schedule out on our social media accounts. We've also updated all of our public safety and transportation officials in the area. Bike park, just two real quick updates. We're still working on our earthwork donations for the site. Hopefully, we'll be seeing that material start to haul in here shortly. And I'm also happy to report we're working with our friends at Boone County Economic Development and their consultants to secure a ready grant that will help to fund the project. Road impact fee ordinance, that ordinance is now in place. We have also named a review committee that would be in place to facilitate any appeals of impact fees that may come in. State statute requires our committee to be made up of a broker, a professional engineer, and a CPA. So I'm happy to report that Neil Taylor has agreed to sit in the broker position. Craig Parks is going to be our engineering representative, and Corey McConnell will be our CPA. All local Lebanon residents and meeting the statutory requirements of that review committee. So happy to report that they have all agreed to serve in that capacity.
Kevin, you said Neil, you mean Matt Taylor?
I did say Neil, I'm sorry, Matt Taylor.
Just want to double check.
Thank you, and I'll correct that in my report, send that back out. But yes, Matt Taylor is the broker that will be serving that role. Regional detention, again, we're working through purchase agreements with Newcold and Ken's. Those are back in their court now, waiting on attorney reviews, and hopefully those will be ready to be executed here shortly. Christopher Burke continues to work on the design of and permitting of our downstream off-site ditch restrictions underneath the railroad tracks. Hopefully we'll be moving towards bidding and construction of that this fall. On the inspection front, Scott's continues to be very busy. We've made, in the last 2 weeks, made 17 SWIP inspections, responded to 1 complaint, and issued 10 new right-of-way permits. Also happy to report that, Scott has taken a very active role in the Sugar Creek watershed initiatives and attended the Hoosier River Watch training seminar last week. So a lot of good information there. We are actually the only municipality that is represented on that Sugar Creek Watershed Alliance group. So I think that's important that we're having an active role in there and helping to have an active voice in the quality of water in our streams in this area. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. Next up, Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. As you can imagine, the planning department continues to remain busy as we reach our warmth of the summer. We did complete 81 building inspections over the last couple of weeks, so we're still averaging about 8 to 10 inspections a day. And then 42 new permits were issued, including 7 new single-family homes. So again, continue to see good, strong activity there, and expect to see that to continue in the near future. In terms of projects, we've got a number of projects that are working their way through Plan Commission approvals, and we expect to start seeing construction over the next few months. We've got a couple different industrial projects on South State Road 39. There's one speculative industrial project that's just on the property just west and behind the Flying J. On State Road 39, there are 3 buildings that are being proposed on that site. They're hoping to start construction, I believe, later this year or early next year. And then further south, then at the intersection of Enterprise Drive, there's a second industrial project that's on that northwest corner there of Enterprise and State Road 39. They also are hoping to begin construction later this fall. So a couple of industrial projects going on there. On the north end of town, on North Lebanon Street, we have where the current Superior Auto was located on North Lebanon Street. That's going to be redeveloped as 2 different commercial retail sites. One will be Taco Bell, and then the other will be a 7 Brew drive-through coffee shop. So I'm pretty excited about seeing some new activity there on North Lebanon Street. Then finally, just got filed recently, Scott Barrett in the industrial park is looking to do a pretty significant expansion to their existing facility. And there's also space that's right next to them that they're going to be doing another speculative industrial building. I know they're eager to work their way through the approval processes to get those projects started this fall as well too. So again, a lot of good activity there on the project side. On code enforcement side, Again, as you expect, in the warm months here, there's a lot of investigation activities taking place over the last couple of weeks. 110 total activities ranging from doing inspections or re-inspections, follow-ups, and things like that. So again, very active, including 21 new cases that we were addressing that came up over the last couple of weeks. And finally, on the code enforcement side, we did have just this last Saturday our first neighborhood dumpster day, and this is done in partnership with Boone County Solid Waste. They actually help both plan and fund this event. And what we did with their funding is we placed two 30-yard dumpsters. They were put out at the Hot Pond Park in the parking lot there, and we sent invitations out to residents in the immediate area of that location, inviting them to bring and throw away large items, yard waste, large items of trash, things like that, just giving them another opportunity to be able to get rid of some things, in particular, things that may be placed in the yard. We had a lot of furniture, some old appliances. There's a number of old swings that look like they've been sitting in somebody's backyard for a number of years that were covered in mildew and things like that. A lot of old lumber looked like it had been sitting outside a long time. So it was a very successful day. We were supposed to be there from 8 to 12, and I'd say by probably about 10:30, we're getting pretty full, and we're looking for room in dumpsters as people were bringing things. So we definitely filled them completely to capacity by noon. So great event, very successful. Most of the residents, or many of the residents, were very appreciative that we were doing it and asked if we were going to be doing this thing in the future as well. And that is the intention. We're hoping to do at least one a quarter, and then move the location around the community to different quadrants, and again, do the same thing where we invite people that live in that quadrant to come and be able to throw things away. So the hope is we're doing at least once a quarter, and if it remains to be popular, we'll continue to do it in the future, and then maybe even increase the intensity if they're very popular. So again, very great event. Thanks again to the Boone County Solid Waste for help partner us with that and help fund that, and thanks to John for allowing us to put those out at the Hot Pond. It was a great location, a lot of people to come in and drop things off and get out without causing too many issues on roads. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? Anything from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell. Kevin's got it tonight.
Sorry Dave had to be absent this evening, but asked that I cover for him. So, Street Department report for tonight. Dave and the crews continue to try to stay on top of cleaning off catch basins of debris and making sure that our storm drains work properly. Obviously, it's mowing season, although the heat lately seems to be maybe slowing that down slightly, but they are still very busy with mowing. They've also been out cleaning up easements of trash and debris throughout the city. The crews have also been out saw cutting, repairing potholes. If you have a pothole in your area, or anywhere in the city for that matter, please call the street department at 765-482-8870, or report that through the online app for reporting issues, and they'll get that on the list and get out there and get that repaired. So Dave's really putting the call out to make sure that that everyone helps them spot these issues so that they can take care of those problems. A stormwater crew is also out busy repairing drain structures and pipes as needed. And they've had a couple of events over the last 2 weeks that require them to deliver barricades for downtown events and things of that nature. I know I personally thank them for the help that they offer those downtown activities. Last week was Brush Week. If you didn't know, they collected 97,180 pounds of brush last week and took that out to Lambs for the creation of more mulch and compost. I want to remind everyone that we do have job openings at the street department. You can apply online, or you can stop by their office on Indianapolis Avenue and fill out an application. And then on one last reminder is that brush weeks are always the second full week of the month. And as I mentioned, we had one last week. The next one will be the week of July 11th, then the week of August 15th, the week of September 12th, the week of October 10th. And then usually that's about the end of brush week, and we move right into leaf season at that point. So that's the report from the Street and Stormwater Department.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin? Reminder he's filling in. Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, Kevin. And last but not least, Communications and Community Development, Joe LePage.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to report that our design is complete for our State Road 32 mural. This is going to go onto the CSX overpass on State Road 32. It was created by our creatives group, It was rendered by a local mural artist, and we're looking forward to painting and doing that as quickly as possible. Our public can stay tuned for Community Creation Days. These are opportunities for you to come out and actually put paint on that canvas, and we'll have several of those as the process continues. Our creatives, incidentally, will be showcased on Friday at the First Friday Summer Nights Art Fair and Music on the Plaza. It's downtown. There's an art fair along with painting with Bob Ross taking place in the alley, one of the alleys downtown. The establishment of a local artistic organization, like a Lebanon Arts Council, is still in the works. We're still working on the planning of that. Also met with a group that organized Boone County Summerfest to kind of recap and forecast the future of the event. There will be some minor tweaks that will be taking place. We have discussed some of the bands that we'd like to bring in for next year, and I also uploaded and created a recap video if you have a chance to make it out to the event, set it to music, put some fun pictures in with it as well, and that's on our YouTube channel, and it'll be on our public access channel in the near future. Speaking of videos and community development, as Ben talked about, with dumpster days, starting with the planning office, did a recap on the first dumpster day that took place at the Hot Pond Park. Also spoke at Lebanon Kiwanis, shared the community development kind of philosophy and the purpose behind it, behind the Love in Lebanon kind of thought process going forward. Also met with representatives from the YMCA, had been kind of on my heart and mind lately, and shared some thoughts on programming possible events and things that could lead to continued success for the Lebanon the Witham YMCA, and so hopefully that helped them. And then you may have noticed the audio has gotten a bit better. We're also streaming a bit better. Also been working with Matt Hutton with Lebanon Utilities to increase and enhance the audio-visual component within this room, and so we're getting a couple of updates that we hope to bring before our city council on July 11th, and look forward to continuing the robust audio that you're hearing tonight. Some other videos put together mentioned Summerfest, mentioned dumpster days. We're also doing a monthly update on Stone Eater Bike Park. As that process continues, we want to keep it in the news, so to speak, and so look forward to the July update coming up soon for Stone Eater Bike Park. Save the dates, Lebanon City Market continues every Tuesday, 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. Takes place in our plaza. Continues to be well attended despite the warm temperatures, and so looking forward to that continuing throughout the season. A lot of great producers within our community, and a great environment there in the plaza to hold that event.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Anything from the public? Okay, thanks, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. Move on to old business. I don't have anything on my agenda. Is there anything from the board?
No.
Okay, move on to new business then. First item up is a street closure request for Howard Street. Is Amelia Young in the room? Nope, guess not. I do have her information though. She has requested a closure of Howard Street. This is a one block street segment between North East Street and North Meridian for July 30th from 1 to 6 p.m. They wanted to have essentially it's for her daughter's birthday party. And that was the request, is the kind of the area for that. So again, Howard's not a super heavily traveled road. 1 to 6 p.m. doesn't seem like it'd be lots of course, in the grid system, so not easy to detour around it. So any questions from the board on that for me? Okay, then I would entertain a motion then to approve the street closure request on Howard Street for July 30th from 1 to 6 p.m.
I make a motion we approve the street closure for Howard Street, July the 30th, between 1 and 6 p.m.
Okay, with motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All those say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, that request is approved. Next up is a change order request for 2022 street resurfacing program. This is change order request number 4 and 5. Kevin?
Thank you. I mentioned these briefly. I won't go into a whole lot more detail, but change order 4 is related to projects 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. And that is all really related to pavement markings and increased quantities on pavement markings above and beyond the original estimated bid quantities. That totals $2,821.95. And then we have some asphalt overruns on project 10, which is Indianapolis Road. And that total is $48,987.70. for approximately $722, or 722 tons of additional asphalt material. Again, all these numbers are within the contingencies that we had established on the project, and change order 4 then totals $51,809.65. And we would be asking for your approval of that.
Clarification, Kevin, so that's, we have change order request number 4 and number 5, or that was all number 4?
That was all number 4.
Okay. And repeat the number for me, the 51,000?
$51,809.65.
Any questions from that for Kevin from the board? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve change order request number 4?
I'll make a motion, we approve change order number 4 for Howard and Companies in the amount of $51,809.65.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Change order number 5?
Change order number 5 is the best kind of change order. It's a negative change order, and this is just to zero out all the contract quantities and close out the job. So this is every quantity across all jobs that we did not overrun or did not meet exactly. So these are all those items that are left in the contract that could be to be billed, but we don't need them because the project is complete. This is a total negative change order of $74,504.10. And to put that in context with change order 4, if you were to total those two together, this is a negative change order of $22,694.45. But again, for your approval, for your consideration, change order number 5, a negative change order on various quantities across various projects for a negative amount of $74,504.10.
Thank you. Any motion concerning the change order for number 5? Negative ones are always easy, right?
I'll make a motion that we approve change order number 5 in a negative amount of $74,504.10.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Second from Judge. All those say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. And Kevin, you're still up. Consultant recommendation for the Elmwood Bridge Inspection Services?
Yes, so a couple of weeks ago, we received letters of interest, responses to an RFP for inspection services related to the replacement of the Elmwood Bridge. And we sent this RFP out to 3 different firms, USI, Crossroads, and Hanson. All 3 responded, and after review of that, myself, the mayor, and Scott Calvert, our public works inspector, scored those, and unanimously, we have chosen to award the project to USI. Craig Parks would have been here tonight. He sends his apologies, but his son is playing his first football scrimmage this evening, and as he said, dad football duties trumps work duties. So Craig is in Lafayette. Katie McClear is here in the office, or in the room. She also with the firm of USI, and have a report that we would like to submit to you a recommendation to move forward with contract negotiations with USI on the inspection of that bridge replacement.
Any questions for Kevin on that?
Is that subject to legal review and your approval?
Yeah, we would, essentially would be a motion to accept the recommendation of USI and then allow for us to enter into a contract pending legal review and authorizing me to sign on your behalf.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, we'll entertain a motion then.
I'll make a motion that we recommend USI for the construction and inspection of the Elmwood Bridge project and authorize the mayor for negotiations along with Kevin for the contract.
And sign on your behalf as well?
Do I?
And sign on your behalf as well?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All those here say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that is approved. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Any general public comment? Okay, we'll move on to claims then, and we're entertaining a motion concerning the claims.
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
We have a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second? Second. Second from Judge. All those here say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Claims are approved, and need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Motion adjourns. Is there a second?
Second.
Wants to go home? Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be July 11th at 5:30 PM. The city council will begin at 7:15.